This is my video for CT5007 IRP. When designing my level, I tried to focus on the steps used by other professionals, including having a solid pre-production stage, where I focused on trying to understand the theme, what the gameplay styles I want to focus on, what gameplay mechanics are in this game, how I want to lay out the level, and do I want to make the level symmetrical or not. I first started with making my level castle, medieval themed. So I made a castle with lots of, looks like a siege, with an attacker and a defender, which made it an asymmetrical map in style, but more balanced. It is balanced like a symmetrical map. The layout focused on a main front line with a back line and two side routes with objectives for domination, including objective C over here, and I think it's objective B, objective E over here. We're starting off, I'm in no base design, which I'll show on screen. Then I turn that into a blueprint with more defined routes, edges, colours, basically everything for the artist will need to understand what the map is going to be based on my whitebox. Obviously I've created my whitebox. I created it in about 5 iterations with more basic shapes, with more defined edges, including any set decorations to understand themes, and to make it more immersive. So there's catapults with a jump pad on it that sends over here into a crash boulder, which adds more decoration to the map that makes it feel more immersive. The timings for this map were another focus, because timing means balance. Because if you can get to your location faster than the other team, you have an unfair advantage because you got there first, unless you want to design it that way where one team gets there first. For example, this map, blue team and red team both can get to objective D at the same time, but the red team have a gate in the way, and blue team have a bit of cover and options of getting a defensive location. Most of the gameplay does take place slightly more on the blue side, this is about halfway, and it takes mostly down this corridor. But there are gameplay happening everywhere else, and in other game modes like deathmatch and TDM, it does spread out a lot more. But in CTF, it does focus a lot more around here because it's the main focal point for the teams to go through. When designing a level, I try to keep everything as defined as possible, so everything has names, as you may have noticed. So we have gate breach, balcony breach, main gate, ballroom, upstairs and downstairs. We have blacksmiths, we have guards barracks, we have some balconies, dining hall, a courtyard. Everything has a defined name and theme, so players, when they're talking to each other, can understand each other's callouts. So if I say they're in the dining room, or I know there's only one dining room, so they can only be in there, and you can be more specific. They're behind the chair barricade, or the table barricade even. You can say they're by the jump pad, they're by the health pack. They're by the middle door, they're on blue side, they're on red side. Everything's very defined in a way that players can communicate to each other. As for rewarding players, 2 types of rewards. There is a positional reward and a physical reward, like a power-up or a weapon. Rewarding players by taking more dangerous routes and locations, including on top of bridges with less cover. You'll be given rewards like a rocket launcher. The main gate is a very difficult place to take because there's very little cover. For example, red side don't have much cover physically at close range, but if you take it, you get a, what is this again? Click it. I guess a U damage, or basically damage increase. And then on this side, you have a similar thing, but it's berserk, which gives you, I think, more attack speed. So these are the more visually understandable power-ups and rewards for players for taking more risky plays. But we also reward players for going down off the beaten path. So if they come into these towers, there's a shotgun, or bio rifle even, and a shock sniper, and on the other side there's a sniper rifle and a bio rifle as well. This means players who don't just follow the same beaten path over and over, they don't get as many weapon rewards for players as players who go off and do other things to earn their advantages. Same with health packs and ammo, they're slightly more off the beaten path, but they do connect paths, encourage people to move around. So you can see here they encourage people to go this way a bit more, where they might take a jump pad up, they might run through the store, they might run this corridor. Other advanced player features include locations that aren't overly impactful in the game, but can make impactful gameplay if you use it to your advantage. For example, some locations are a bit more difficult to get to and require parkour, like these balconies in TDM and DM. They may not play as much of a role, but in CTF, when you want to hold an angle but you don't know if you want to stand here or stand here, it could be good to learn how to get to this location by performing the parkour movements in Unreal Tournament. Um, Also, providing lots of options. For example, red team have multiple ways in. They have the gate on the left, the main gate, the breach here, and then we have a catapult. The catapult takes you a lot further, but through testing, I found that it's not a very good option to take because it's very um, risky. You don't get a reward on the way. That you don't get a weapon, so you're basically flying in their base with a pistol. Um, when I made the encounter locations, I made each room have themes and style, which was part of my defining playable space. But you still need to have like things like cover in, so you have to make do with making cover believable. For example, a ruined dining hall, you make the cover out of wooden tables and chairs and bookshelves, things that are like been fallen apart and being used as rudimentary barricades. Obviously, these don't make sense because a bullet would go right through wood, but it's a video game set in a medieval world with guns. Maybe if the theme was turned into more futuristic, it would work better. Um, as part of this, creating cover, so you have to create risky and safe cover. Riskier cover is more open, has less space. For example, this one has a very low barricade. The escape route doesn't have any cover to get to, but you get given a health pack as a reward for trying to use it. Safer cover, like this one, has a lot more height. Doesn't have a good safe path either, but it has a jump pad that can take you towards health packs, not health packs, weapons, which makes it a bit of a choice. So you have a safer chance of surviving. So with this side, you have the corridor you can use as a wall. You have a box here if you take a side across, which is quite big and useful to hide behind. And then you have this forward advanced one, which is less safe, but means you're closer to the objective to defend it better. Also with this one, there's no escape route, but it allows you to get a really good close location for kills. I think that's it. I'll just go over the other decisions. This room's quite an open one, because I want it to have some quite open long distance gameplay. The weapons around here are a bit more powerful. There is a minigun here, which you have to get through going here this way, which is quite a long trek for blue team, but not so much for red, so it encourages red to come around, take a flanking route, go down here, get more guns here, then they can either go down this door or this door, and make a surprise gank on the blue team.